Westworld has a lot of theories swirling about it, but we have a brand new one as of episode 3, and we're going to talk about it right now. That means there's spoilers, okay? If I didn't imply that heavily enough, there's spoilers. Don't bitch about it.
Oh, I'm so excited, though. I love this.
So we just watched The Stray, which is episode 3. And we're introduced to a new idea, which is that there was another person beside Ford. Ford is the Anthony Hopkins character in the creation of this park. His name was Arnold. You may remember the name Arnold from when the
bandit with the
bandit
milk
character who was going nuts with the milk, going, I need more milk, Arnold! Ah! You know, all over his memories of former killers, perhaps, and
that's something we found out this episode too.
Yeah, that's what was going on. So that they are kind of dipping into their old memories, into whatever they were in their past form. You know, maybe the new Abernathy will start slinging drinks. I don't know. That's less interesting. But we also have a new character boiling up, which is Arnold. Who is Arnold? There were a lot of significant things said on this episode as to what he could be. For instance, we have Ford, on one hand, being very personal with the hosts, like the little boy, remember, in the desert. And then on this one, he makes a very strong point of saying they're not real, they're not human. You know, uncover him, he's not ashamed, he's not cold, cut his skin. You know,
because for the longest time of 2 whole episodes, I was like, is it going to be Bernard or is it going to be Ford who's helping them gain consciousness?
I think it's Ford.
It is. It's so hard to say because, like, Bernard himself
Bernard is like a tool of Ford, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a few different theories as to what Arnold is or who he is, because his ghost seems to be lingering in the host's AI at least, and perhaps in a more real sense, he's still around. So one theory is that he is actually dead, and this is not a theory at all, which I don't know if I would abide by, because...
Or dead and his consciousness has been uploaded as some sort of like godlike figure, like they were saying with the one of the...
Oh, the voices in their head, and then they were like, well, people used to think this is the voice of God, how would they act? And that gets to the point of, you know, they were talking about the pyramid of... what is going on inside the host's head.
Consciousness.
So there was self-preservation. There was, at one point, the top was bicameral.
Brain. Which is that whole theory about the voices of God within your head. It's one of the theories behind AI.
And Ford was very opposed to this because this shows that, you know, I don't want them to have consciousness. Would you want to have consciousness if you were getting killed and raped and abused all the time? Of course you wouldn't. It seems kind of cruel.
It's almost a kindness that they're offering them.
Yeah, like when the one female employee pushed the button in the back of Dolores' head when she was freaking out and screaming, because it does kind of blur that line frequently and back and forth. One theory is that Arnold is the Man in Black.
Oh, Ed Harris's character?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Because he said he's been there for 30 years, almost near the beginning or the beginning. He looks kind of old.
Yeah, because they don't, in the original Westworld film, because that part was played by Yul Brynner, from what I remember, they didn't establish that. He was just kind of...
You know, I wanted to, like,
go back
and see it for clues.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Yeah, just don't. I know, I did the same.
Or do it, but it's not useful.
Yeah, that would be interesting, but it would almost be too easy, because I thought that too, and I was like, no, it's too easy.
Well, I mean, he's trying to figure things out. He's trying to, you know, he's playing some kind of game with the hosts, like how Dolores remembers him from all the suffering he's inflicted on her.
Yeah, but God, would whatever happened to Arnold to become that much of a sadist?
Well, because if you think of them as not really being alive,
that's true.
Is it sadism? Which it's not. It's more like just being an asshole.
I mean, as they even
there's a difference.
Yeah, and as they kind of addressed in this episode, is it allows people to go do the things they would never do in real life. But
here's a crazy theory: Arnold is Bernard, and Bernard is a host.
What?
So this is a theory that some people have. It's a little out there.
Like so Ford created Bernard in the image. No, because we saw the photo of Arnold and Ford on the table. He's like my partner.
No, he's like a host. He has the consciousness.
But it's still okay. So it's not okay.
And like he doesn't know. And this idea of his son Charlie dying is just a piece of the story. And maybe Gina Torres isn't really his wife. She's just interacting with him.
That's a lot.
I like it though. I mean, I like how crazy it is. And that he would create this host and
Yeah.
kind of this is his own meta experiment into consciousness and AI and humanity.
Or he missed his partner so
Or
much.
he missed his
that he
friend.
just
Maybe
wanted
that's
him.
why he lets Bernard do whatever. I think he's aware that Bernard is not exactly following protocol,
Yeah.
and he seems to be allowing it to happen.
Even though after his stern warning, he still allows it to happen. Yeah.
The other idea is that Arnold is Wyatt. So we may remember at the top of the story of episode 3, Ford is talking to Teddy, and he's like, "You're going to be in on this new storyline. We've told you have something in your past. Well, this thing in your past is Wyatt. He's this bad guy. He's terrible. He kills people." And he started this by saying, "A fiction that, like all great stories, is rooted in truth." So is this like maybe the dramatization of what happened?
Or Wyatt is actually based on the Man in Black.
Or that,
Yeah.
and that he's also
Arnold.
who is Bernard. No, it's too crazy.
That could be.
Maybe double dipping, but not
Yeah.
quadruple dipping with that one right there. I like I think that one has legs because we are just introduced to these concepts all around the same time.
Yeah, because the idea that it's the Man in Black and have no clues, dropped to this point. But then you drop Wyatt, you drop Arnold at the same time.
But he's an interesting character.
Yeah,
and it's like who is he? Who could possibly have the means to spend 30 years in this? Which is, by the way, if you go on the website and look up how expensive it is, it's minimum your trip is $400,000 a day.
Oh my, yeah.
Minimum.
I was wondering because how long do they stay in the park?
Not a day.
Day.
For a vacation.
Oh, for vacation.
It's like a few tens of thousands a day. Wow. My bad, but you can go look that up yourself. I also looked up Dolores' flow chart of what can happen in her day.
Oh.
Based on what happens.
Yeah.
Like, what if Teddy picks up the can? What if a guest picks it up? What if she picks it up? What if we go to...
So is it every time Teddy picks up the can is when someone's going to go, kill her dad?
Well, no, it has a different route after that.
Oh,
so it's a
okay.
possibility.
Okay.
It's an
just
interesting
seems to
flow
always
chart.
happen.
There's one where nothing happens and she has a good day. There's one where she gets brutally killed. There's one where the guest is romancing her, I guess, and then it ends with guest's choice.
Oh.
So I don't know what that is. That's where her
Rape,
improvisation
murder,
goes in.
Kill.
Maybe just
murder and
have a
killing
nice
same.
night together.
Yeah. That would
Near
happen.
daddy? I don't think that's a good idea. But I don't have the means to be in this park, so I guess it's not up to me. It's such an interesting show so far. Only 3 episodes in. We did an episode last week where I said, I haven't seen it yet. And I don't think it's been posted yet. So it's already a little late. Sorry, everyone.
But now you have, so.
Now I have. Now there's 2 competing views of what it is. I'm so excited for this show.
I know, and what excites me is they can do the whole Westworld storyline and go further than the film, but then there's also, there's medieval world and Roman world, so I'm like, oh my God, the possibilities.
Well, it's interesting that they haven't included those at all, but I can see why they wouldn't because it's too much.
Yeah, no, start here, and if the show's really successful, you can open it up and do it.
For sure, and I think it should be. It's very good. It's up there with Game of Thrones for me in terms of intrigue, and how well I think it's done and how much I appreciate it. Audience, are you enjoying Westworld? And what are your theories about what the hell is going on? Especially when you look at those next week on Westworld previews. Let me know what you think below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for much more.